Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. This is the outdoors color sequence for Civil Air Patrol. So let's see here. Do I have my volume? Yep, I do. Okay, let's go. So, first question is first question is why is your left hand on the staff at the socket? We don't do that in the Air Force. And if you're doing that because of the wind, which, that's some pretty decent wind there. If you're doing that because of the wind, then your left hand needs to be on the staff, under and touching the right. That's the wind bracing technique. And then your arms look really stupid because they're sticking out like this. That's the Air Force way. So your hand should be at shoulder height, not mouth height. And I know that the difference between this and this is really significant because holding the staff like this, it especially with that wind, it's not as stable as doing this. It's and I know it's just a few inches, but it's quite significant. So, what you really need to do is start from fall in. And I know you ordered the new finials because they were broken off by another team. Thanks, other team. Really nice. And you're getting that taken care of. Those aren't the right staffs, though. They should be the light ash wood. If I'm seeing properly, they should be this type of staff here. Whoops. All right. So start from fall in. You need to have the team walk up, and then you say fall in, and then get aligned and spaced instead of just doing this really quickly. Nice and loud commands too. So you have a slight angle forward. That's great. Take the cords and tassels off both of the colors. They don't belong there. The Air Force does not use cords and tassels. Civil Air Patrol is not supposed to use cords and tassels. Civil Air Patrol is supposed to follow Air Force regs. Civil Air Patrol doesn't follow Air Force regs, unfortunately. You've gone off on some weird tangent, and cadets are taught the wrong thing every single day, which is unfortunate. Good. Remember, nice and loud. Oh, wait a minute. So, no, don't push the staff out like that. That's not a thing. Not a thing at all. That's a guide on staff position, not a flag staff position. What the guide on staff and the flag staff are the exact same staff. What's attached to the staff dictates what you do with the staff at certain points. And for here, the staff is never pushed forward at parade rest. This is actually present arms, or present really indoors when you can't bring the staff up, even for trail arms. So anyway, this is present, which would be an indoor thing, but here for parade rest, never ever push the staff forward. So I just want to make sure your grip has to be this grip all the time when you're at order. Don't do the thumb in front. You've got to do thumb behind that V grip, okay? Just making sure that you're aware of that. Oh, yeah. So, left rifle guard, not a problem. You're learning. That's okay. So not bad on the spacing. A little bit too wide, but still not bad. This is probably between the left guard and what should be the CAP flag, but um, uh, left guard, that spacing right there, that's good. This just a hair wide, but at least be consistent. Okay, so for the and I remember, Austin, you wrote me. It was the left guard that who's learning the abouts. So on a left, the dumbest name in the U.S. military. Half left about, half right about. They're dumb. They really are. But this is what the Air Force has us do. So it's just like the Army wheel. So on the left about, the half left about, left guard stays in place. Everybody turns around the pivot point, which is the left guard. So don't move backwards. That has the pivot point there. If this is your guard your team here, that has the pivot point here in the middle. You want the pivot point on the guards. So every half left is the pivot point is on the guard. The left guard stays in place and just turns that 90 degrees, marching in place. Same for the right rifle guard. And your mark time is just it's tiny. It's as if you don't want to wake somebody. So make sure. And I get the unsuredness of the team. I completely understand this. And then, like I was telling you before, the commands, they need to be nice and loud. Your command voice is going to dictate how the team performs. And if it's just half left about, march, and then it, it, it sounds like you're kind of crawling inside yourself and not really wanting to be seen. Whereas you have to give that nice. You are standing tall and you have that staff in your hands. And again, if there's wind, your hand is right here. Half left about, march, and you're giving those commands nice and loud with authority, so that that's kind of reflected in the team as they stand up, take notice. The audience stands up and takes notice. Now I know this is for competition, but still, the whole purpose of these nice and loud and purposeful commands is to help your team communicate. You're communicating through your voice. The team is communicating through their visual representation here. So if and here's another thing that's really annoying about Civil Air Patrol, the drill and ceremonies manual, is that you can choose whether to be at right shoulder. The left guard is the only one who chooses whether you're at right shoulder or not. The Air Force doesn't have a choice. The Air Force says you're at left shoulder, left guard, left shoulder. That's why you don't swing your arms. But now that you're at right shoulder, you would swing your arms. That's the requirement. You're going to be at right shoulder. Now you have to follow what the Army says. This is an Army technique. Everything you're doing right here, this is Army, except for the guards not swinging their arms. So with your hands down here, that's purely Army. Only Army does that. Nobody else does it. But since you're both of your guards are at right shoulder because of that silly choice, then you have to swing those left arms, guards. Good getting back into step. Could have happened a lot earlier, but you did it, so that's a good thing. So remember, left guard, stay in place. Don't move towards the team. Let the team move around you, okay? Nice timing, even with the wind. And then here, you're doing what, a half right about? Why are you looking down there, right rifle guard? So don't do that. I know why you're looking down. That was a rhetorical question. But if you're doing a right about or a left about, either one, you're still going to pivot all the way around. Okay, just like that. You're not going to rotate here in the center. So forward, hunch comes on 2 consecutive left steps. You take 1 more right, then you step off with that left. Left about is called on the left, right about is called on the right, including the halves. So the Air Force mark time has the ball of the foot coming up 4 inches. For some stupid reason, it's measured from the ball of the foot, which means the toe actually comes up around 1.5 to 2 inches, something like that, because your foot is supposed to naturally hang down and not get pointed or lifted. And it looks cold, and I'm jealous. All the way here in Florida. Come on there, left guard. Okay. So that halt there, it looked a bit late in the foot strike. So in the foot transition, I should say. So the heel strike is where you need to call the command when you're marching forward. So color guard, halt, and then step close. If you're striking the heel and then calling it any time later after that heel strike, it it feels off and it will look off. Now, left guard is having a little bit of an issue. He's training, and that's not a problem. You'll catch up. You just need to keep practicing. And I'm really happy that you're doing this. This is great. But Austin, just make sure that you have that the command on the heel strike. Now, when you're marching in place, it's going to be on the toe strike. Forward, march. All right. Anyway, as soon as the foot strikes, either one, that's when you want to call your command and not draw out the command. Oh, I know forward is kind of two parts in there. There's two parts forward in it, but forward, nice and short. Okay, so there you go. Some feedback for you, and it just takes more practice. And your staffs are incorrect. They're the brown staffs. So guide-on staffs is what you want. And honestly, I'd go to Glendale. They're pretty much the only ones who have the this middle screw joint that's nice and thick with the really thick threads instead of those. Well, you can take those apart at the middle screw joint there, and you can see little fine threads on there that are easily cross-threaded, easily screwed up. All right, well, team, I appreciate you requesting the feedback. Make sure that when your staffs are angled forward, it's that slight angle forward, both staffs are at the same angle. Nothing is higher or lower. They need to be at the same angle, and they're not. And I understand the wind's going to catch, and you'll